Yeah, hi guys. Thanks for joining in. We will start the session in 5 minutes. We're just waiting for more colleagues to join in. So please wait for 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, Deacon, are we ready to go?
Yeah, Mike, let's just wait for 2 minutes more. We have about 17 people right now. I want this number to probably touch about 20 before we start. The rest of the people will keep coming in because we have a WhatsApp group for all the participants and everybody is saying that they're joining as we speak. I don't want them to miss out on the start of this session. So just wait for 2 minutes more, please. Yes. So, good evening, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So great. Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for joining in to this Ideathon webinar today. And we definitely want to thank our speaker for today, Meike. And Meike comes with tons of experience. She is one of the global exponents of blockchain. And she's also the CEO of SmartLedger. Meike has traveled extensively during her journey with blockchain, and she has witnessed blockchain exponentially in multiple markets. If many of you were on this call, you would hear my exchange of conversation with her. We are very grateful to have Meike on this call. We really appreciate you so much for making it on such short notice. And today, Meike will be talking about a very critical problem statement of the Binance Ideathon, which is creation of a metaverse for the tourism industry. As you know, post-COVID, the tourism industry had faced a big deficit in terms of many companies shutting down, many airline pilots and employees of airlines like aerostesses losing jobs. Now we've seen a revival, but we also know that in the last 2 years, how times change. The metaverse has come to stay. And I think Meike is going to be talking to us about how we can use the metaverse effectively for an alternative source of income for tourism industry. And she'll also be speaking on creation of a reward system. If many of you who attended last week's session, we discussed about carbon footprints and how many companies are trying to do good by rewarding themselves with carbon credits. Governments are going to be giving SOPs and benefits to companies who practice good carbon footprints. And I think the creation of a reward system on blockchain will actually enable people to effectively use carbon credits. It'll also enable us to reward people for good behavior. And I think these are very, very important problem statements. So we have the best person to present it today. So Meike ma'am, over to you. And thank you so much for taking part in the Binance Ideathon.
Thank you, Deacon. So first of all, Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Namaskara, Namaskaram to everyone. I know there are many more Indian ways to say hello. It's a hello from Germany currently. My name is Meike Krautscheid, and thanks a lot for this introduction and for asking me to speak today about potential solutions and around blockchain and the Metaverse and the reward system. Me personally, one second, doesn't go further. Now it goes further. So my background, so when thinking about technologies, you might think that you need to have like an IT background or need to be able to code. I actually don't know all your backgrounds. I would be actually very interested to know what you're doing and what's your purpose in this field. But I want to encourage you that this, especially the blockchain, Metaverse, and all these new upcoming technologies are providing huge opportunities for everyone around the world. Independent from the location or background, it might change your life and the life of your family and friends. And I came actually originally from the events industry, but when I heard about the blockchain technology and alone the use case that you can send like a cent for a fraction of a cent within a second around the world and solve with it the problem of billions of people was mind-blowing. And I knew this is the field which I want to go in. And since then I was like learning about blockchain and related technology since a couple of years. And I came into the position from my SmartLedger team and came into the position of becoming the chief commercial officer and also lead blockchain consultant of this company. And so, as I said, the blockchain technology itself can, or I think it will disrupt all sectors globally, and can provide, let's say, more or can make processes much more effective, efficient, and provide more data integrity and security. Also in the sector of tourism, when you look at different industries, what I encounter in my work is that each field is kind of like its own universe, and each field is coming up with own problems. But how to solve these problems are kind of like similar when you go into the field of blockchain and Metaverse and NFTs and smart contracts. Does everyone know what blockchain is and smart contracts? Maybe you can make a hands up if you know about it.
Everybody, please feel free to use the chat box as well if you want to send any communication to the speaker. You're free to use that as well.
I saw 2 hands. Not sure if, okay. 1 hand. Okay, so not to everyone. The technology, the blockchain technology, is 3 hands. More and more is coming up.
We have one hand raised for Meike.
So, okay, maybe I give a little bit more background. So itself, the blockchain technology is like an immutable ledger, but distributed, not centralized as we know it in the current state of, let's say, internet servers there or siloed data centers. But here we have like a global network, a distributed ledger, which can provide, let's say, the immutability, or can prove the immutability of data. Data and value. At the end, value is also data. So, but when speaking about blockchain technology, there are actually maybe thousands of different blockchain technologies with different, let's say, metrics and capabilities. Not all of them are actually usable or working blockchain technologies. When I speak about blockchain technology, I want to see a blockchain technology that is highly scalable, so where many participants can do transactions over this network or secure data over this network, which costs, where the actions cost a fraction of a cent, not a couple of hundreds of dollars or something like this. And for me, also, this blockchain technology needs to be able to store data, maybe huge amounts of data, not only the hash, the so-called hash. Hash is a cryptographic digest of the data. So let's say you have any data, a sentence. Blockchain is a globally distributed ledger, for example. This is being processed with a hash function into a certain number. So let's say 64 digits number. And when I write blockchain, not with a capital B, but with a little small b, then this hash, this cryptographic digest, is completely different. So this hash is like unique. So, and we want like to have like the data not again stored on centralized servers, but on a blockchain that is always available, even let's say when one of the nodes, the transaction processors, maybe the plant burns down or whatever happens, then the data and the proof on the blockchain is still available. So so blockchain, when people think about blockchain, it's not only, let's say, a crypto payments, Bitcoin. It's much more than that. It's like a plumbing system where you can transfer data, value, highly secure and efficient without a trusted third party. So, for example, currently, when you want to transact money, you have money on the bank account, and first of all, very little amounts of money, it's not worth it to send to do these transactions over the bank, because the transaction costs are higher than the send amount itself, maybe. And it takes time. And also, the current state is that you have to ask your bank, please bank, may I transact my money? So, and with the blockchain system, you don't need to have this proof or this the acceptance or the let's say this allowance of the bank or of another third party. This system is peer-to-peer, person to person, and the proof and that this transaction is, let's say, valid is being there's a consensus found on this network that say yes, this is the actual verified data, or this is the actual verified transaction. So, and when talking about the metaverse, who of you know what the metaverse is? Maybe also again like a hands up. So I have Maybe everyone knows, maybe no one knows. All is fine. Okay, I see one person, two people, three. Wow. I mean, in general, you can say when speaking like with to the normal population, at least here in Germany, I don't know how it is in India, but in Germany, when you speak about blockchain technology, almost no one knows. It's like they mostly have heard about the word Bitcoin. So, and then they say, oh, it's this internet money or something like this. But most people are not aware of blockchain and not aware that this might disrupt all the sectors and change their lives as the internet did, actually. So, and the metaverse became a bit more popular through Facebook, or now Meta, because they said, okay, we want to create like a digital world where everyone can interact with each other and provide, like, let's say, a user or an experience in the digital world which was never there before in this extent. So the metaverse is like a digital world, like where you can actually do more or less everything that you also can do in the physical world, but with further possibilities, which will also be interesting potentially for the tourism sector. And when I always say these technologies there's not much magic happen with the technology alone, but in a combination with technologies. So metaverse will be much more interesting in a combination with a blockchain technology, with a properly working blockchain technology, or these reward systems that we will speak about later, or smart contracts, which are like the automation of contracts according to how it is programmed. So these are, let's say, these will change the world more or less in a combination with these different technologies. That's why I'm mostly speaking about different technologies when talking about one topic. But my personal approach is mostly from the perspective of blockchain technology. So yeah, this is my personal approach. And second. So when talking about metaverse for tourism industry, this was like the text as said in the description of this Binance Ideathon brochure. With COVID and travel restrictions across the globe, can metaverse be used as an alternative to explore new locations and gather new experiences? So we have a digital world which can be created in a way however it is created. Like there are movies being created digitally, anything you can imagine you could put into the metaverse, like in a digital way. And with, let's say, these controllers that we have, like these VR glasses, virtual reality glasses, or controllers, and maybe further upcoming technologies, we can really experience a new level of reality. Or also with specific tools, we can combine the physical world and the virtual world. It's like you can call it augmented reality, or it's like XR, so like a combined reality. And in COVID times, it was like catastrophic situations for the tourism sector and many other sectors. And I mean, almost like every personal life was touched by these restrictions and happenings. And imagine let's say you have created a digital world where we can still explore the world and make new experiences. And maybe cannot make like 2 weeks of a vacation somewhere on the metaverse. Maybe it wouldn't feel good for your body, but maybe for a couple of hours. I was recently in the metaverse, if you can say so, while I was in Dubai exploring the Expo 2020. There was one of the pavilions provided like a metaverse experience. I put on the glasses, didn't have the controller on, but still I could see my hands in front of me, kind of. And we went through the universe, let's say, and it was an amazing experience to be kind of like close to the stars. And they showed rockets in, let's say, the actual height, and I was looking up, and it was simply amazing. Not only, let's say, for the tourism sector, but also for education. Imagine really much more experiencing like the universe while learning about the planets in the universe would be much more, let's say, incentivizing or interesting, entertaining for students to learn about the universe when they maybe even saw it, or maybe it was so close. Yeah, it sticks to the mind and soul, maybe. Or you can create like a museum. The current museums are static, and with the system, you could even create, let's say, a museum where living digital actors are, or people from the locations, and or maybe people really experienced a war or whatever it is, and can talk. And while they are providing, let's say, the service in the metaverse, there can be like a micropayment stream into their non-custodial wallet. So not the bank is storing my wallet, but maybe it's on my phone and it is stored here. It's directly from the one who is maybe visiting the museum and wants to have this service from me on the other side of the world. I said, okay, let's do this together, and then I talk to the visitor of the museum, and I profit from it immediately. Yeah, and so I also thought, or actually we have the technology to scan a whole city on a centimeter, like exact. And let's say in Dubai, the Burj Khalifa and the area around, we could scan it. People who are not able to travel can still visit the place, maybe with an entry card, like a non-fungible token, so-called NFT, as a ticket. I can access this area of the Burj Khalifa digitally. It looks real, it's like amazing. And maybe there can be some exciting things be built in this digital place, like shops. I buy a digital thing. Maybe I have then the digital ownership. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, there was a sound. Where were I? So about ideas, what you can do then. So you implement, for example, digital shops, or as a tourist can then buy a shirt. I have the digital twin on the blockchain, the ownership that it's a real the real shirt of a specific brand, for example, and then I get it shipped physically to my home. Even if I couldn't travel to Dubai in person, I still could travel digitally to the place. So yeah, and or maybe you could also geolocate in the metaverse hidden things. You can run campaigns, and when people find something, a voucher on the metaverse, they can go to the physical store, I don't know, McDonald's, and get a burger for free when they found it on the metaverse, and so forth. So what were the further questions? What will excite customers to enter the metaverse, to explore new technologies? I mean, these incentives, first of all, the experience is amazing. If you have ever experienced the metaverse, and especially, for example, the stars, it's simply an amazing experience. It's, alone, this experience alone. Then I can communicate with people around the world that are logging into this metaverse, and I can potentially make money or spend my money for more entertainment or amenities or whatever, however it can look like. Can be, you know, some of the artists couldn't also not travel, give concerts anymore. Then I can plug into the metaverse and experience these concerts, can communicate with other concert goers, and so forth. So when talking about the metaverse and tourism, you can really let your creativity and your creativity flow, how it could look like. I just gave some examples, let's say, and how to ensure non-tech background users can also enjoy the experience. I mean, for me, it was easy, even though it was the first time, let's say, going into the metaverse. Maybe there has to be a little description, but elsewise it should be created in a way that it's so easy that everyone can do it. Just putting on the glasses, it should connect immediately. Maybe you have the controllers, maybe you don't need any controllers. Yeah, and then you can enjoy this digital world. How will the metaverse be designed, and what would it look like? I mean, as I said, it could be like a really physical scan of a city, of a location, or I mean, there are computer nerds who can program and design such a world. Currently, when speaking about the metaverse, it's actually not only one metaverse, but several metaverses, several places. It started actually with, or at least the one that I know is Second Life, which exists already since the middle of the 2000s. But it wasn't with this experience that you had like glasses on and stuff, so just sitting in front of the computer and could communicate with people around the world who was also set up the account on Second Life. You could also spend money on the on Second Life and so on. So it can actually look like the way you want it. And I think blockchain technology is important for it to provide, let's say, the possibility to do micropayments, tipping system, like the shop, or like that we can create a new ecosystem for everyone around the world to profit from this, let's say, new internet, if you like. Then you need the blockchain technology for the ownership of things that you buy. Maybe you also have digital things that you want to own, which are only digital, like digital land. Then you need the blockchain technology to have like unique items, avatars, as I also said, like ticketing system, and much more. Okay, so let's go to the next topic. Reward systems. The question was like the creation of a reward system for environmental friendly decisions taken by companies and individuals. So how can blockchain be used to maintain accounts for recycling and other environmental friendly decisions? So we have actually two sides, like we have the company side and the individuals. And for companies itself, it is very incentivizing, or should be incentivizing, to be or to act according to ESG, environmental, social, and government, let's say, rules. Be more and more, or acting more and more responsible, accountable, and sustainable, which should be then, let's say, supported by individuals. And this, let's say, accountability starts or can be provided with the blockchain, because let's say a company, let's say, I don't know, a brand, Adidas, Nike, whatever, providing clothes, and they want to prove that the cotton came from or was produced in a let's say in a good way, not only for the environment but also social and so forth. So how do we do it? It is actually connected with a supply chain management, which is connected to the blockchain, where data is made, let's say, immutable, and where we can also, in connection with further technologies, namely IoT sensors, who can maybe collect data about the location, about the temperature, and so forth. And this is along all the stakeholders stored on the blockchain, these informations, and cannot be changed afterwards. So at the end, let's say the customer wants to buy like a shirt of Adidas, and they want to know, did this cotton came from, let's say, a not good area, from China, Sichuan, I think, not sure, Saigon, I'm not sure. One of the locations in the west of China is actually not a good place to get the cotton from social sites. So then, because the informations are, let's say, stored on the blockchain, me as a customer, I could want to get access to this supply chain, to certain informations that are important for me to know, that it's okay for me to wear this shirt. And then, like Adidas can give an immutable proof, or at least a proof, if they really manipulated then something at the data, then it's much easier to bring someone, make someone accountable for the actions that they did. So for companies, the reward system is more like, okay, they become more accountable and reliable on the things, on the information that they are putting out for the people, for the individuals, and individuals can, let's say, support this movement, or let's say, yeah, individuals can ethically, and if they are also economically able to support, let's say, better, friendlier products, then they have the proof. Then the consciousness is rising on different sides, or awareness. So, and for recycling, actually, first of all, recycling from the company side. When it comes, for example, to tires from cars and so forth, what happens with these things or bottles? Or let's say I don't have a bottle here, but let's say in Germany we have like a system. I bring back some bottles, I get some money, and or like trailers are being reused on certain things, and then first of all, companies can see where their bottles are, for example, and if they get they're lost, for example, beer bottles in Germany. Currently, it's really a pain for breweries because they have to spend each year millions of euros to buy new bottles because people are not bringing them back. They are not really incentivized. So there has to be like a knowledge where are these things, which can be applied with IoT sensors, for example, and a monetary incentive for people to bring them back. It can be anything at the end, or also the monetary incentive, but also, let's say, the accountability. Who has it? Like it is like, it can be like connected with digital ownership, can be connected with identity, digital identity, and then the monetization. So let's say in India, everyone who collects a bottle and brings them to a specific point gets, I don't know the let's say 25 cents in US dollar. Can maybe almost buy you can buy a snack or something, or almost a meal, half a meal. And how incentivizing would this be? Like I would immediately get like the reward into my wallet. And I think the second question is, how can government of India incentivize such networks to do more for the environment? Yeah, create such a system where the companies are being held accountable for the information that they put out, where there's immutable proof for different things, and where people are being rewarded to do more for the environment. And the last question is design how this product will look like and share a working framework for the same. I mean, this would be another thing where you can think about how could this look like. But for me, it would definitely, we could also create like a recycle token. So each recycle token has a different, a certain value, and I can collect them, I can spend them, I can exchange it for something else which is valuable to me. It can be like awards, like I'm number 1 on the environmental friendly list or something. So people are happy that they are acting in a way. It can be maybe also gamified in a way. So it makes even fun collecting more and more whatever recycling products or bring them back to a certain point. So you create like a ranking list that it makes, there's more like competition in it, and like a game to play. So blockchain technology is being implemented and connected to it. And regulation or incentive or let's say a framework for the government or by the government would actually be helpful. I know the government they are working, let's say, on the regulatory side when it comes to cryptos, but it has to become clear that blockchain is not only crypto, it's much more. And yeah, I think India is on the way to clarify and to make a wonderful framework and system that everyone can profit from it. Yeah, so that's, I think, from my side as a little introduction into these topics. Maybe you also want to connect with me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a wonderful platform. This QR code will lead you to my profile, and you can connect or follow or whatever you like. And also, when it comes to Binance, I'm currently teaching or giving lectures at the Barcelona Digital School, which is also in cooperation with Binance, actually. And some of the courses starting upcoming Monday about Bitcoin as Genesis. Then the next lecture that I'm giving is about consensus protocols, and then about smart contracts and so forth. And it's really exciting, just for your information. Hope you learned something today from me. And now I'm handing over to Deacon again. Deacon seems to be busy. Otherwise, I would open up the conversation that you can ask any questions if someone has questions.
Yeah, no, I was having a problem unmuting. Thank you so much, Meike. That was such a nice session. Guys, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask at this forum, or else, as you are aware, you can write a mail to us and we will forward your queries to Meike, because I think time is a constraint as well. But Meike, I really appreciate your time today. Yeah, I think there are some questions over here, so let's just read it out. Can we encourage people to develop NFT in the metaverse and provide them with an alternative income source?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Also, NFTs are like non-fungible tokens, like digital unique items which someone can own also on the metaverse. So NFTs definitely will be applied in the metaverse, or maybe are already getting applied. Not sure about, for example, with digital concerts, for example. And it can be also, very sure actually that NFTs are being applied about digital art, these NFT JPEGs, let's say, are being sold on the metaverse already. And let's say you create such an art piece and put it in this digital world, and somebody buys it. Sure, you can make money with it. And even if the person resells this item, you can get royalty fees from it, make more money, or whatever item it can be. I mean, creativity is one of the keys to really profit from this new world and technology.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. There's one more question I was not able to understand by Akhileshwar. He says, ma'am, we cannot taste local cuisines, foods, dishes of that place if we have a metaverse tourism. What is the solution for this?
Yeah, this is definitely unfortunate, because also I love like Indian cuisine, and I would go every day on the metaverse to have Indian food. Yeah, but so in some instances we definitely need to travel, but maybe there will be like frozen food delivery service around the world being created, where this could be implemented or be created. But I think currently it's too expensive to order a dish from India just for the next day or so. I don't know.
Oh, well, I think that we have some very good very good Indian restaurants in Germany as well. So I don't think that's much of a problem. Great, yeah. Meike, this was such a fantastic session. I really appreciated the time that you spent and the effort you took for the student population. As you're aware, I4C does a lot for student innovation, and the Binance Ideathon was one of the key things we are doing with, trying to promote blockchain for good. And we are so happy that you are part of it. And, obviously in the future, I would love to do something with you and SmartLedger as well. I see immense potential over there. Thank you once again for your time. Thank you very much, Meike, for the time spent today. I really appreciate it. Thank you, students, for being part of this. Thank you, Saurabh, for organizing this. On behalf of I4C, Binance, and SmartLedger, we wish you all a very good evening. Take care, God bless, and good afternoon to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye-bye.